Now, in this second audio, let us move to page number 5 of our same chapter, that is Introduction to Chemistry. What is given on page number 5 is your gas jar, funnel, and measuring apparatus. What are the gas jars? It is a long glass jar which is closed at one end and which serves as the base and has an open mouth at the other end. What is the function? For collecting gases by different methods. What are the different methods for collecting the gases? Downward displacement of water, downward displacement of air, and upward displacement of air. Please focus on these three methods. These are the methods how the gases are being collected depending upon the solubility of the gas in water or air. If the gas you want to collect is soluble in air, definitely you will not go for the method which involves your air, because when it gets soluble in the air, how are you going to collect that gas, right? And if by chance your gas is soluble in water, obviously it will get very difficult for you to separate out that gas from water. So depending upon the solubility and density of the gases you want to collect, varying from your water and air solubility and density, we go for a method which is correct for the gases to be collected, because difference in the solubility and the density will help in better and pure amount of collection of the gases, right? So what is the first method is your downward displacement of water. First, the gas jar is filled with water and inverted over the beehive shelf so that the water is displaced downward and the gas jar is collected upward. Obviously, gas being lighter than water is going to rush upward, and the gas is going to occupy the topmost space in the gas jar, whereas water being heavier than gas is going to displace down. So the gas is collected upward and the water is displaced downward. It is used for the gases which are insoluble or slightly soluble in water, which are not reacting with water. So what will happen? When you invert the gas jar, the water is going to move downward because it is more denser, and the gas is going to displace upward because it is lighter, less denser. So eventually what will happen? Both will be separated into two different layers, and such a gas which is less soluble or rarely soluble in water can be easily separated by this method. Second method is downward displacement of air. What happens in this? The method is used where for the gases which are soluble in water. Suppose you are going for a gas, suppose ammonia. Ammonia is highly soluble in water, so you cannot collect it over the displacement of water. So you will go for the displacement of air, right? And being lighter than air or heavier than air, because ammonia is not soluble with water. It is rarely soluble with water, and so it can be collected by the downward displacement of air, right? Now, next method is upward displacement of air. In this method, the air moves upwards being lighter, and the gas which is heavy than air is collected downward, and it is collected by this method. The gases which are collected by this method, the examples are your hydrogen chloride and sulfur dioxide. So the three methods which we have focused is your downward displacement of water. The gases which are collected by this method is your nitrogen and oxygen. Downward displacement of air, the gases which are collected is your ammonia. Upward displacement of air, the gases which are collected is your hydrogen chloride and sulfur dioxide. Next apparatus given on page number 5 is your funnel. Please look at the apparatus. It is a very useful apparatus because it is used for pouring the reactant into the thistle funnel or from one vessel to another. This apparatus is made up of glass and it is of various size. What is the another function of this? It is used for carrying out the filtration, during which the filter paper made in a cone shape. We all have studied filtration in class 5th. So the cone shaped filter paper is made and is placed inside this funnel, and through the solution is kept passed, and what happens, all the solid particles remain in the filter paper and the residual liquid moves out, and it is used for carrying out the filtration. What are the next separators given are your measuring apparatus on page number 5. The three measuring apparatus given is your pipette, burette and measuring cylinder. Right, these are used for measuring the liquids in fixed measurements and fixed volumes. The first apparatus given is your pipette. It is used for measuring the liquids by sucking. Right, suppose you want to measure 25 ml, it goes very difficult in your measuring cylinder to go for exact 25 ml. So we take the option of pipette. Pipette is a glass tube which is it is cylindrical in shape, broader at the middle section and narrow at the ends. Right, it has a correct marking of 25 ml at the top end, and we suck the liquid from the open. We dip the pipette into the solution or the liquid you want to suck, and then we apply the pressure from our mouth and the liquid moves in upward direction. We do this process very slowly so that liquid does not enter our mouth, and as soon the liquid rises above that 25 ml mark, we immediately remove our mouth and put our thumb on it, and by slowly removing the thumb from that closed end which was in our mouth, we remove the excess amount of the liquid from the pipette by drop method, and we bring the measure up to accurate 25 ml. So this apparatus helps in measuring the liquid in correct amount, that is accurate amount. Right, what is the method? It is measured for pouring out or removing the liquids. What is the next apparatus is your glass apparatus. It is also used for measuring the liquids by pouring the liquids from what happens in this is the liquid is first poured from the topmost end, right, and the lower end is having a tap. The tap is first closed, the liquid is filled up to a marked level, and then it is removed. Tap is gently opened and then it is removed drop by drop. Right, next is your measuring cylinder. Measures the definite volumes of the liquid by filling the liquid up to a marked level and by pouring out. Suppose these measuring cylinders are of different measurements. It can be of 10 ml, 50 ml, 100 ml. It varies from size to size depending upon the need. These are generally used for your transferring and measuring of the liquids.